It's Tara here with Create Life Paper Words today, and today Kristie and I have another Instagram inspired for you. This right here is our inspired piece. It is by Jessica at For Ice Cream Ice Cream, and I really loved the white space with all of the bold colors and the different geometric designs, so the pluses and the stripes in it. So what I am going to really focus on pulling out of this, at least what my intention at the beginning of this was a lot of white space and also pulling out those navies and those black and white stripes. That was sort of my goal when I first saw that piece. For this one, I did get to choose it, so that was really fun for me. This is definitely a layout that I really love, and definitely one that I thought I could really use and make it my own. So like I said, my intention when I started this was a little bit different than what it ended up being. I originally thought I was going to mat all my photos with white background, but I ended up not doing that. I only did one, and I only did one because I really wanted that photo to stand out. It's a photo of my husband, kids, and my dad swinging, and I really liked how I caught everyone in mid-action, and so I decided I wanted that photo to stand out. And then I am trying to emulate the vertical lines that you see on the inspiration piece, except I chose to go horizontal more because I find that in a Project Life spread, just because it's the two 12x12s, that everything in your eyes move horizontally. So that's why I decided to go with that. I really love how my my one card, I guess it'd be like a filler card, the 4x6 filler card at that bottom on the left there, really turned out. I did a little bit of the crinkling up of the pieces of paper, the layers that I added. And I just really like how it looks. Unlike Kristie, I actually had none of the items. So I just sort of went through my stash to see what felt very similar to what I had seen in the inspiration piece. I did end up pulling out this Oasis collection paper. I know Kristie used the Oasis collection a little bit in hers. And then I had some great striped, black and white striped ribbon. This is a Stampin' Up! One, I believe, from years ago. And I just really wanted to do a bow. I didn't have any other bows, so I made my own bow. I struggled a little bit with it, getting the size right. Definitely getting like the Maggie Holmes carousel one would have just been a little bit better size-wise, but I still really, really love how the bow looks, and I don't ever use bows in any of my spreads or 12x12 layouts, and I definitely think I'm going to have to start because I really love that focal point of it. I also wanted to bring in some more different stripe papers, and I also wanted to bring in that navy and those sort of peachy blush tones as well. So that one card, the 3x4 card, the filler one, that's right beside the From Where I Stand one, that is actually one that I did with watercolor a few weeks ago, and I had just kept the leftover paper that I had, and it worked out really well. It really matched the colors nicely in that one sort of watercolor looking paper that I used for that filler card, the 4x6 one. I'm just going through my stamps. I know there's not really any stamps on the inspiration piece, but I definitely wanted to do some stamping. I was really feeling like that's what I wanted to do. And so I just pulled out my StazOn and a bunch of stamps, and I believe I am stamping Fun. I also did not have any blue alphas or puffy stickers or anything like that. So I ended up using these chipboard alphas, and I chose those ones because I felt that the colors and that sort of watercolory theme went well with the rest of my photos and what I was trying to work on here. So that's sort of why I went with that. I had pulled out a couple other options. ended up choosing this one, and it works. I like that pop of yellow in it. I felt that sort of really brought the pictures together, because I do have a couple little other spots of yellow in other pictures. I had a ton of pictures this week, and I think that's maybe why I got off track from where I wanted to go with this layout from where I actually went. I'm using some labels. I don't know if you guys find that you sort of like get hooked on one type of embellishment and you use that. I know in Kristie's video, she talks about how she has so many enamel dots and she needs to use them up. And as she said that, I'm like, oh yeah, I've got a ton of enamel dots too. And for a time, like I used enamel dots on everything, and then I don't really know what happened, but I just find I don't use them anymore. But I find that that's where I am with labels, is like I use them on everything. I probably overuse labels, but I don't care because I love them. And yet I'm sure a year from now it's going to be something else that, I'm using all the time. So what else am I doing? I think I am just trying to figure out what else I'm going to put here. I end up being out of letters, which always seems like is what happens to me at this point. So I end up going yay run, because that's what Emmy was screaming while we were at the park. Yay! And then she'd say, run, come get me, come chase me. She was super excited to see her dad. He had they didn't finish harvesting that weekend, but he did have a day off after not really having one for a while. So she was so excited to see him, and she loves going to the park with him because he pretty much chases her around. So she was having so much fun, and I was trying to get photos of all the kids that day, and they did not want to. Aubrey, the look on her face is like, just take the damn picture. And Rhett was pretty much like, I do not want you to take my picture. And my husband's even like, Rhett, just stand still and get the picture taken. And he did not want his picture taken. Emmy didn't want her picture taken. I just managed to snap that one mid yelling and it turned out really well. I'm really, really loving that photo of her right now. This week was a pretty awful work week for me. Nothing was really going how I wanted it to, and so I took my ombre mug in, and that to me is like, my ombre mug is like my happy mug, and so when I take it into work, it's sort of one of those things where it's like, okay, I really need some like cheering up today. So I decided to take a selfie of me and my tea mug, and I had to include that in there because it's my favorite mug and it's a beautiful mug. So it just, it has to be in Project Life, of course. And of course, anything to do with tea is, in my opinion, a good thing. So I wanted to sort of emulate how the inspiration piece had buttons, or maybe they're brads. I'm not really sure what they are, but they had those button brad things, and I don't have those, but I did have some flare, and this flare that I have is a Felicity Jane piece, and it is white with the little swirls, just like this. I don't know if it's a sticker, if it's an ephemera piece that's in the, or that Jessica used on the inspiration piece. So I liked how it sort of brought that little swirl in to my spread, that little tiny nod to the inspiration piece. And just trying to figure out what I'm going to put on this card here. I wasn't really sure. I knew what I wanted it to look like, but I wasn't really sure what else I wanted to have on it. So I end up doing these little triangles. They're navy, so again, it brings that navy color into it, and then I can't really decide, so I go work on something else. Working on this from where I stand, and generally I'd put from where I stand, and I opted not to, so I ended up using one of my roller stamps, and I've got just some sort of summary sayings on it. This is August. Yeah, this is the middle of August, so it's really warm and really bright out at that point in time. I found this fun Kelly stamp, and it says, "In my cup, coffee, tea, not telling." Totally how I felt that day. If I could have had alcohol at work, I probably would have had that in my cup. But of course, I would not have done that. But that's how I felt. I would have liked to have that in my drink. I believe at one point I even said, "What's in my drink is not strong enough right now." And I'm pretty much at the end of this spread. So after you've finished watching this one, go hop on over and watch Kristie's. I will link it below. And if you've already watched hers, I just want to say thank you guys so much for stopping by both of our little YouTube channels and watching our videos. If you have, or if you come across any photos on any layouts on Instagram that you think would be really fun for us to scrap, we would absolutely love to see them. So feel free to tag either Kristie and or I at Sweet Girl Designs or at Create Life Paper Words in them. And again, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out of your day to watch us. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again. Bye guys.